Okay, your first question was how and where to load code in IDE. When you click on even MQ4, but stay on MQ5. When you click on it, say like right here, if you have it set to open that type of folder in the IDE, well, it will, just like that. It'll open it on its own. Now, so there is no really where. You just click on it and it opens. Okay, you said you copied the indicator under scripts. The indicators go in the indicators file. Now you can copy it, but what you're doing, you're kind of going around what the IDE wants. If I save this right now, file, save as, it's going to save it where it feels it needs to be in indicators. Now, your next question was rules to go in and stay out. Indicators have, and you'll learn this in less than half a day. Indicators have Indicators have things that other versions don't. Indicators have an init and a dinit. It has buffers to do the calculations. It has up here at the top, it might have indicator type, draw color, that type of stuff. That's how you can tell. One way you can tell indicators. The indicators go in the indicator folder if you expect them to run correctly. EAs, it will have an init and a dinit, and you can pretty much tell them by it doesn't have buffers. Oh, in that on the histogram, it might say indicator. See, it says indicator, separate window. What that's saying is this indicator goes into a sub window. So if you see indicator buffers or indicator separate window, that's another thing. Okay, here's an EA, or at least my first version of an EA. See, you don't see any indicator. You don't see any histogram, buffers or anything like that. So you pretty much learn that it is a EA. And if you saved it, now this might not save, but if you saved it, it's going to save in your experts folder. Let's see here. I don't think I have a script pulled up. See, here's another indicator. It would go in the indicators. And if I clicked on save, okay, here's a script. A script, I've commented it out, but a script, sometimes it will say property show script inputs. That kind of lets you know that it's a script. A script is a one-shot thing. Indicators pretty much run all the time, or when they're called. EAs pretty much run all the time, or either when they're called. You can limit them. You can limit them to 1 time per bar, 1 time per day. You can limit them if there's a need to, and sometimes there is a need to. Scripts are just a one-shot deal. Scripts pretty much, you click on it and it might send a buy one time only. It might send a sell one time. Now, there are some other things you can do with scripts, but there's no point in going into them right now. So you're just going to have a on start, and it's going to say do this, and that's it. Once it does it one time, it's gone. So that's how you know a script. And if I save this as a file, save as, it's going to want to, on its own, save it into scripts. Now, I'm sure the IDE has some little tips that it uses to decide where the where it goes on its own, and sometimes it will be incorrect. So you got to look. Sometimes it will actually save an indicator in your experts file. I don't know why it makes that mistake, but sometimes it does. And it rarely will save an indicator in a scripts file, but sometimes it will save it in the experts file. So you just have to kind of watch. Okay, let's see here. Was that everything? Rules where to go and stay out of. Now it doesn't hurt if you manually copied things into well, you can't see that, can you? If you manually copied things into a folder, it doesn't really hurt, but you cannot expect them to run correctly. So what I do, if I know precisely what I'm doing, I will sometimes do like you said. I will copy a code and put it manually into the proper folder. If you do it incorrectly, it can cause problems. If for some reason you want to store code, see like here, storage. Now this is just a file that folder that I made to store. It's when I was working on all that stuff, just to store. Now you won't see that in the platform when you go to look at your indicators. Now if you go to MQ5 and you go to indicators, you should be able to create a new folder. Now if you do that, and you can put whatever you want to in there, just like I do it all the time, zigzags. And I know you spell zigzags, but you can do that. But there's some downfalls to that. And when you put that folder there and you create that folder, you'd have to restart the platform. In this case, you would see the zigzags. You would see that folder there. But there's some downfalls to that. You really need to know what you're doing, because if you go and try to call an indicator out of here, it might not work as well as you planned. But I do that sometimes. It's just more or less storage. And rather than have thousands of indicators here, I might put that I'll never use or use rarely. I'll put them in zigzags or whatever, different folders types things. But I think that was it.